morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. I needed 2 cups of my liquid culture because I'm making rolls. Let me show you how to make them. And I used all of my liquid culture. So you know what I'm going to do? The liquid culture comes from my sponge culture, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my sponge culture and put it into my liquid culture bowl. I don't need a lot. I'll come back to this in a minute. But then what I'm going to do is measure out the water. This I need for some rolls I'm making. Measure out the same amount of flour that I would use for my culture, my liquid culture. Believe you me, the water and flour mixture is different for the sponge and the liquid. So I'm going to change this sponge culture literally into a liquid culture. It'll take me a couple of days, but I'll get it down. So I'm going to measure out the flour here, which I need 1.5 ounces. Okay, we got 1.5 ounces of that for my flour. And in a couple of days I'll have liquid culture again. Because when you make your sourdough culture, the first one you make is literally the sponge culture. And from the sponge culture, you make the liquid culture, and I'm showing you how I do it. I'm going to take cold water. I need 2 ounces of water. And after 3 days, this will be back to a liquid culture. Okay, wait a minute. I've got to take care of these. I got 3 minutes. I'm finishing up the scones. Okay. Now I'll stir this like crazy, and in 3 days, the sponge culture that I put into my liquid culture jar will be liquid culture again. Stir it and mix it well, because it gets excited when you do that. I know that sounds so stupid, doesn't it? But it's true. They get all excited. Right now, it doesn't look like a liquid culture, but it will be, and I'll show you why. Now, you heard the ratios. I used 1.5 ounces of flour and 2 ounces of water for my sponge culture. Remember that. Okay. This is my liquid culture. Let me get this in the refrigerator. Gonna have to hustle a little. All right, now for a sponge culture. Feed my sponge, and I feed them every day. This is what my sponge culture gets. It gets 1/4 flour, but 3 tablespoons of water. This is a 1/8 measuring spoon. It has a mark for 1 tablespoon, so I don't have to worry. So you see how the measurements are different? This one and the other one, the liquid goes by weight. The other one, the sponge culture, goes by measurement. Isn't that interesting how they work? And I stir this up, and this sponge culture stays a sponge culture. So when I run out of liquid culture, I always sit there and I'll take some of my sponge culture and I convert it back over into the liquid state so I can function with it. And see how tacky that is? That's my sponge culture. So listen, take care. Just a little trick I wanted to show you. Bye-bye.